Hey everyone, this is Robert Hedgepeth, and my presentation is titled What It Takes to Be a Successful Entrepreneur. It's an interview with Isaac Sandoval. He's a small business owner and local artist. And I'll make sure to really project because my upstairs neighbor is having like a Mortal Kombat tournament and it's super loud. So, besides that, before we even start, I wanted to ask some general questions. Why would we be creating a business? Why would you be creating a business? Would you be willing to invest your time and your money into the business? And have you constructed a proper business plan and set some goals for the success? So this is the person I interviewed, Isaac Sandoval. He's the owner of the food truck eatery called The Skillet. He's also an art professor here at Highlands University. He's a skittle metalsmith worker. He's a welder and such. And he's the son of Charlie Sandoval, who's the owner of Charlie's Bakery just downtown. So first question I asked him, why did you start a food truck? Why did you start this business? And he responded with, he's always had a passion for cooking since he was a helping hand at his father's restaurant, Charlie's Spick and Span. He wanted to create a dining experience that was his own. It had his own artistic flair incorporated. He also craved the idea of having a food service that differed from what was the norm in Las Vegas, New Mexico. And he really loved traveling with his handmade skillet, providing food for friends, small gatherings, and he thought, why not take it to the next level and make a business out of it? So he did. And I wanted to wonder too, how did he get his start? What was his initial motive, his actions that he took to make his business take off? And he said, first thing he did was what a lot of us are doing right now. In fact, everyone's doing right now. We're taking a course to help us construct a business plan. So he took a course at Luna to help him get his goals straight, get his mind right for what he wanted to do. And he knew a fair amount about the standards of food suppliers and drink vendors, essentially the things that you would not necessarily need, but definitely want to have in a restaurant setting. Just if someone come through and wanted a Pepsi, you'd have it. And also too, he knew he had attained certain permits from like the environmental agency, certain certifications, codes, all that. Needed to have all that before he even got the food truck off the ground and started putting food out there and making money. So next question was, what was the initial budget? What did it consist of? He said it was the $800 he had to put towards a trailer so he can gut it and outfit it to be a full-size kitchen was the first thing on the budget, have somewhere to cook. He also needed to purchase the necessary cooking supplies and equipment. That was the biggest investment, especially like the facilities and such, running water, all that, everything that you need to have a proper restaurant or food truck. And he also purchased a welder that helped him really outfit the food truck, now the trailer, helped him customize certain things as well as his artistic endeavors. That was for him as well. So all these things were the first things on the budget. I also asked him, what makes you different, not just as a person but as a business? What makes this establishment different? Because that standing out as a business really helps, and it's also why a lot of people are loyal customers instead of just going to the run-of-the-mill restaurant. So he said having the school bus sitting area that they have this big school bus, they gutted it, outfitted it to be a seating area, and they called it a site-specific interactive art installation. So they kind of get through a loophole there without having to have like fire alarms and sprinklers and all those other facilities you'd need for like a restaurant. He also has customized aluminum metal sculptures and such around the truck, and he communicates with local farmers for resources and all the necessary raw materials for the food that he creates. The pros, he said that making connections is the biggest thing. From working in the food industry to especially being in college, all the people he's met have really helped him not only thrive as a business, but from resources to just hired hands, all of that. He said making the proper investments and having credibility in his work based on his financial and business reputation, that was the biggest thing. Like, connecting with people is really the biggest, but also how you portray your business, how you're putting yourself out there, the proper investments, what you're buying, what you're selling, and how you go about that, if it's professional or not. That's how a lot of people will affiliate with you or not. He also said having his family and friends that were willing to become employees. He said it was pretty difficult getting a crew of people to start working for him, but once he was able to communicate with a lot of his family and friends, they jumped on board and helped him out. And he said the organization and help from his girlfriend has been just monumental She helps do a lot of the bookkeeping and such, as well as from telling the money to everything in between. Really keeps the organization there so that the business is sustainable as opposed to up and down. And then the cons. I said, what was the hardest parts? Hardest part, he said, really is starting up. Starting your business is the hardest part, because you're kind of initially, without a business plan, not too much direction. And once you have your business plan, it's just the first steps are really the roughest. He also said the public's perception was pretty rough. Las Vegas, New Mexico, if anybody has visited here, you might realize it's more of a traditional town. And so starting a food truck in a town like Las Vegas, New Mexico was rough initially. It was a little hard to start. And then he said the location where they're at and the lack of advertising. They're not exactly in the plaza, busy tourist area, and it's not like he has like a Squarespace website or certain ways to kind of plug through the internet. So he's slowly getting to advertising, and where they're located, it's not exactly out of the way, but it's also not up in your face. So that was kind of the hard part. And last thing to end on, I know I'm like a minute or so over, but just don't just follow the dreams. That's what I wanted to harp on. Don't just walk towards them. You have to stay driven, organized, and determined. You have to be disciplined. Having a business it's not just something that it's like a plaything. This is you. It's an extension of you and a service that you're trying to provide. He said expect to have setbacks and communicate with as many people as possible, because people really are the driving force of your business. Without them, trying to do it by yourself, I mean, I'm sure if you're going to be a freestyle rapper, maybe it might work out, but even then, you need your fans, you need your support, you need your help from the community. It's an everyday mentality. It's not something that you can just give up for a week and then come back and take where you left off. It's something that you have to think about constantly and work at, is your business. And be the person who knows your business like no other. If you don't know exactly what's going on to a T, you know exactly what's happening, your budget, everything, who else is supposed to know? This is your business, so you have to run it like it's an extension of you, like it's your appendage. You have to know, I mean, like the back of your hand. That's very, cliche to say. But anyway, that's how I want to end it. I know I'm like 2 minutes or so over, but thank you for watching the presentation. I appreciate all the support. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and thank you very much.